My brother-in-law lifted his glass and announced, "I'm flipping the family beach house, quick profit." I just smiled. He didn't know I already owned it. The furious contractor outside knew everything. I was standing in the corner of my parents' dining room, watching Marcus work the crowd like he always did. 6'2", designer suit, that practiced confidence that made people believe whatever came out of his mouth. My sister Emma hung on his arm, radiant, completely convinced she'd married up. Listen up, everyone," Marcus said, his voice cutting through the dinner party chatter. The room went quiet. 20 family members turned to face him. My mother clasped her hands together like he was about to announce a pregnancy. "I've got some exciting news," Marcus continued. I'm finally doing something with that old beach property we inherited from Grandpa Joe. Got the permits approved, contractor lined up, renovation starts next week. Should be able to flip it by summer for a solid 6-figure profit," the room erupted. My father pumped his fist. My Uncle David clapped Marcus on the shoulder. My cousin started firing questions about square footage and market value and whether he'd considered staging it before listing. I took a sip of my beer and watched. Because what they didn't know, what Marcus clearly didn't know, was that I'd bought that beach house 7 years ago. Quietly, no announcement, no fanfare, just me, a real estate attorney named Sarah Kim, and county records that showed my name on the deeds since 2018. Marcus had never owned it. All, not even close. "The foundation work is going to be expensive," Marcus was explaining, gesturing with his whiskey glass. "But I've got a guy who's giving me a deal. $35,000 for foundation repair, new plumbing, electrical upgrades. Should increase the property value by at least 200 grand. My cousin Rachel leaned in. "Are you keeping the original stone fireplace?" "Absolutely," Marcus said smoothly. "That's the selling point. Classic architecture, modern amenities. Buyers love that combination." I almost laughed. The house didn't have a stone fireplace. It had a brick chimney that hadn't worked since 1995. Marcus had never actually been to the property. He was just saying what sounded good. Emma squeezed his arm. "He's been working on this for months. Site visits, contractor meetings, permit applications. I barely see him on weekends." "That's what it takes to build wealth," my father said approvingly. "Initiative. Vision. Good for you, Marcus." Nobody looked at me. Nobody asked if I'd been to the beach house recently. Nobody wondered who'd been paying the property taxes for the last 7 years, or who'd replaced the roof in 2020, or who'd been managing the seasonal rentals that generated $48,000 annually. I was invisible, like always. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I pulled it out discreetly. "Unknown number. Is this Alex Chin, owner of 1247 Coastal Highway?" I stepped out onto the back patio, away from the celebration. "Yes. Who's this?" "Tom Patterson. I'm a contractor. I need to talk to you about Marcus Webb. He hired me to renovate your property, said he owned it. I've been working for 2 weeks and he owes me $18,000. Now he won't answer my calls." My stomach tightened. "Are you at the property now?" "No, but I've got photos and a contract and a lot of questions about why the county has no record of the permits he showed me." "Send me everything," I said quietly. "Photos, contracts, text messages, emails, everything. Are you telling me he doesn't actually own this place?" "He's never owned it. I bought it from my grandfather's estate in 2018. I have the deed and 7 years of tax payments to prove it." Silence on the other end. Then, Jesus Christ. He showed me permit paperwork. He showed me insurance documents. He said this was his family's legacy property. "It's my family's legacy property," I said. "And he's committing fraud." Kitchen cabinets ripped out. Bathroom completely gutted with new fixtures sitting in boxes. Work I'd never authorized. Changes I'd never approved. Then came the contract. Marcus's signature. My property address. Permit numbers from the county. I opened my laptop right there on the patio and logged into the county permit system. Checked every number on the document. All fake. Marcus had forged government permits to hire a contractor to work on a house he didn't own. I looked back through the glass doors into the dining room. Marcus was still holding court, still accepting congratulations, still lying with that easy smile. My sister was beaming at him like he'd just solved world hunger. I typed back to Tom, "Mr. Patterson, I'm the legal owner. I can prove it with county records. Marcus has defrauded both of us. You should contact the police. I'm about to do the same. Are you serious right now?" "Completely. I never hired you, never authorized renovations, never agreed to pay for anything. This is fraud and forgery. I've been in construction for 15 years. I've never seen anything like this." "Me neither. Send me copies of everything. I'm calling my attorney tonight." I went back inside. Marcus was explaining his timeline to my Uncle David, who owned a property management company and should have known better than to take Marcus at face value. The kitchen is key, Marcus was saying. Modern kitchens sell houses. I'm going full marble countertops, commercial-grade appliances, custom cabinetry. At 50 grand in renovations, increase value by 200. 50 grand in renovations on a house he didn't own. My mother caught my eye. Alex, come tell Marcus about that condo you were looking at in Seattle. I'd mentioned it once, a year ago, in passing. I was surprised she remembered. I walked over, stood next to Marcus, looked him in the eye. How's the renovation going? I asked pleasantly. Fantastic, he said without hesitation. Contractors ahead of schedule. Real professional operation. That's rare. What's his name? Marcus blinked. Who? Your contractor. Oh, Tom Patterson. Great guy, and he's been responsive. Very. Why? I smiled, just curious. Contractors can be difficult to manage. Not this one. Very communicative. Sends me daily updates, while owing him $18,000 and not returning his calls. Emma joined us, sliding her arm through Marcus's. He's being modest. He's been so stressed about permits and inspections and making sure everything's up to code. The permits came through okay? I asked. County took forever, but yeah, all approved. Which permits did you need? He looked at me like I'd asked him to recite the periodic table. The standard ones: building permit, electrical, plumbing, no structural. Foundation work isn't structural, he said confidently. Foundation work is literally structural. But I didn't correct him. Good contractor, I said. Must know what he's doing. Emma was looking at me strangely. Why all the questions? Just interested, I said. Real estate stuff. You know me. She didn't know me. None of them did. They knew quiet Alex. Alex who worked in software engineering and didn't talk much at family gatherings. Alex who still drove a 10-year-old Honda and lived in a modest apartment despite making 6 figures. They didn't know I owned 3 rental properties. They didn't know I'd been studying real estate law for years. They didn't know I had an attorney on retainer and a property manager and a detailed spreadsheet tracking every expense and every dollar of rental income. They definitely didn't know I was watching my brother-in-law commit multiple felonies in real time. I excused myself and went to the bathroom, locked the door, called Sarah Kim. She answered on the 3rd ring. Alex, it's Saturday night. This better be good. My brother-in-law is renovating my beach house without my permission using forged permits. Pause. Say that again. I explained everything. The announcement, the contractor, the photos, the fake permit numbers. Sarah whistled. That's fraud. Like actual criminal fraud, multiple counts. I know. Have you called the police? Not yet. I wanted to talk to you first. Alex, you need to file a report tonight, and you need to document everything. Every text, every email, every photo that contractor sends you. What about? Look, my family. What about them? They think he's legitimate. My sister's married to him. They have a daughter. Sarah's voice went serious. He's committing fraud using your property. He's defrauding a contractor. He's forging government documents. This isn't a family dispute. This is a crime. I know. So what do you want to do? I looked at myself in the mirror. Quiet Alex, overlooked Alex. Alex who never made waves. I want to document everything, I said. Let him keep talking. Let him dig himself deeper. And when the time is right, I'm going to show everyone exactly who he is. That's risky. The contractor's legitimate. He's not going to damage the property. And honestly, the work probably needed to be done anyway. I'll just make sure Marcus pays for it through legal channels. Through legal channels, Sarah sighed. You're my client, so I'll support you. But Alex, be careful. This guy sounds desperate if he's pulling something this elaborate. I'll be careful. I hung up and went back to the party. Marcus was showing people photos on his phone. Before pictures, he was explaining. Place was a disaster, hasn't been updated since the 80s. I'd updated the entire electrical system in 2019. New panel, new wiring, new fixtures. Cost me $23,000. The photos he was showing were from a completely different property. I recognized them from a real estate listing I'd seen 6 months ago. This wasn't just fraud. This was elaborate, premeditated fraud. I stayed for another hour, watched Marcus collect congratulations, watched Emma glow with reflected pride, watched my father pat him on the back and say things like, "That's how you build generational wealth, and wish I'd had your vision at your age." Nobody asked me about my job. Nobody asked about my life. Nobody wondered what I'd been doing for the last 7 years. I was invisible, which turned out to be exactly where I needed to be. I met Tom Patterson 2 days later at a diner in North County. He was late 40s, calloused hands, tired eyes. He brought a folder 3 inches thick. "I've been doing this for 15 years, he said, spreading documents across the table. "I've worked with homeowners, investors, flippers. I've never been scammed like this." Tell me how he approached you. Online posting. Said he'd inherited a family beach property and wanted to modernize it for sale. Showed me photos, gave me the address, said permits were ready to go. I quoted him. $35,000 for foundation work, plumbing, electrical, kitchen and bathroom remodels. He negotiated down to 32. We shook hands. Did he show you proof of ownership? He said the property was still in the estate. Said the family was handling probate. Said his name would be on the deed within 60 days. My grandfather had died 9 years ago. The estate had closed 8 years ago. When did you start working? 2 weeks ago. I've put in about 60 hours of labor plus materials. I'm into this for $18,000 already. I pulled out my laptop and showed him my deed. The county records. 7 years of property tax payments, all in my name. Tom stared at the screen. He used his dead grandfather to con me. My dead grandfather, I said quietly. Jesus, do you have the permits he showed you? Tom pulled out photocopies. I checked each number against the county database. These are all fake, I said. Permit numbers don't exist. How did he forge them? Probably found a template online, changed the numbers, printed them out. Most contractors don't verify every permit number unless they have a reason to be suspicious. Tom leaned back in his chair. I verified the address. I verified the property exists. I verified the zoning. Why would I think someone would fake the permits? Because you're honest, I said. And you assumed he was, too. What do we do now? You file a police report. I file a police report. We let the system handle it. What about your sister? I'll talk to her. She deserves to know before this blows up publicly. Tom gathered his documents. For what it's worth, I'm sorry you have to deal with this. I'm sorry you got caught in it. That night I called Emma. Hey, she said cheerfully. What's up? Can we have coffee? Just you and me. Pause. Is everything okay? I need to talk to you about something. About Marcus. Yeah. Longer pause. Alex, if this is about the beach house, I know you're probably upset he didn't consult you, but it's been sitting there for years. Emma, please, just have coffee with me. Okay, tomorrow? 10 a.m. We met at a Starbucks halfway between her house and my apartment. She showed up in workout clothes, looking stressed. You look worried, she said, sitting down. I am. What's going on? I opened my laptop, showed her the deed, the county records, 7 years of property tax payments, 7 years of rental income documentation. She stared at the screen. I don't understand. I bought Grandpa's house from the estate in 2018. I've owned it for 7 years. I've been renting it out seasonally. It generates about $48,000 a year in income. But Marcus lied. Her face went pale. No. He said the estate was still in probate, that the family was handling the transfer. The estate closed in 2017. Everything was settled 8 years ago. Then why would he? I showed her the contractor's messages, the photos of unauthorized work, the forged permits. He hired someone to renovate a property he doesn't own using fake documentation. That contractor is 2 weeks into the job, and Marcus owes him $18,000. Emma's hands started shaking. This is a mistake. He probably just... Emma, look at the permit numbers. I pulled up the county database. They don't exist. He forged them. She looked. I watched her face change as reality sank in. How long have you known? She whispered. Since Mom and Dad's dinner party. The contractor texted me that night. And you didn't tell me. I wanted to have proof first. I wanted to make sure I wasn't wrong. Are you wrong? No. She put her head in her hands. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. You didn't do anything wrong. But she was crying. Real tears. What are you going to do? She asked. I have to file a police report. The contractor's already talking to detectives. This is fraud, Emma. It's a crime. He's my husband. I know. We have a daughter. I know. She looked up at me, mascara running. How could he do this? I don't know. But Emma, this might not be the only thing. You should check your finances. Look for anything unusual. You think he's been lying about other things. I think desperate people do desperate things, and this is pretty desperate. She pulled out her phone, started scrolling through something. Her face went white. What? I asked. Last year he said he got a promotion, said his salary increased by $30,000, but I never saw the extra money. He said it was going into investments. What kind of investments? He wouldn't tell me. Said it was complicated. Said I should trust him. Red flag. Massive red flag. Massive. Irma, you need to talk to a lawyer. Not about divorce necessarily, but about protecting yourself and your daughter financially. I can't believe this is happening. We sat in silence while she processed. Other customers came and went. The barista called out drink orders. Life continued around us while my sister's world collapsed. What happens now? She finally asked. I'm filing a police report today. Detectives will probably want to talk to Marcus. The contractor will likely sue for payment. Depending on how serious the charges are, Marcus could face jail time. Jail? Fraud, forgery, theft by deception? Yeah, jail is possible, she wiped her eyes. Everyone's going to know. Yeah, Dad's going to be devastated. He loves Marcus. Dad believed a lie. That's not on you. She looked at me, really looked at me. Why didn't you say something at the party when he was lying to everyone? Because I needed to be sure, and because I wanted to give you a chance to hear it from me first. Thank you. You're my sister. She started crying again. I'm so sorry for not asking about the house, for not paying attention to what you've been doing, for letting Marcus take credit for things he didn't do. You didn't know. But she should have. They all should have. I filed the police report that afternoon. Detective Maria Santos from the Fraud Division called me the next morning. A morning verse, Mr. Chen, I've reviewed your report and documentation. This is pretty clear-cut fraud. I'm going to need to interview Mr. Webb. He doesn't know I've reported it yet. That's probably better. Can you come down to the station today? I want to get your full statement on record. I spent 3 hours at the station going through everything. Detective Santos was thorough, mid-40s, sharp eyes, patient. Has Mr. Webb attempted to contact you directly? She asked. No, we're not close. He doesn't know I know. And your sister? I told her yesterday. She's processing it. Has she confronted him? I don't think so. I told her to talk to a lawyer first. Detective Santos made notes. We're going to execute a search warrant on his residence and his devices. Look for evidence of the forged documents, communications with the contractor, anything showing intent. When? Next week. I need to coordinate with the DA's office. What about Tom Patterson? The contractor? He's filing a separate civil suit for the money owed, but his evidence supports the criminal case. Forged permits alone are enough for felony charges. I left the station feeling strange, like I'd pushed a boulder off a cliff and couldn't stop it from falling. 3 days later, my father called. Alex, what the hell is going on? What do you mean? Emma called your mother crying, said something about Marcus and fraud and the beach house. She wasn't making sense. I took a breath. Dad, I own the beach house. I bought it from Grandpa's estate 7 years ago. Marcus doesn't own it. He never did. Silence. He hired a contractor to renovate it using forged permits. The contractor's 2 weeks into the job and Marcus hasn't paid him. I filed a police report. There's an active investigation. More silence. But, Dad? You're telling me Marcus lied at our dinner party? In front of the whole family? Yes. And you knew? I found out that night. The contractor contacted me during dessert. And you didn't say anything? I wanted to have all the facts first. I wanted to talk to Emma privately. I wanted to handle this the right way. The right way would have been to call him out immediately, so Emma could be humiliated in front of everyone, so their daughter could watch her father get exposed as a fraud in front of 20 people. That stopped him. She's your daughter, I said quietly. I protected her as much as I could. Long silence. Then, I can't believe this. Neither can I. What happens now? The police investigate. The dad decides whether to press charges. The contractor sues. Marcus faces consequences. And Emma? She's talking to a lawyer, protecting herself and Lily financially. Jesus Christ, Alex. Yeah, he hung up without saying goodbye. The search warrant came through on a Thursday morning. Detective Santos called me at 8:47 a.m. We executed the warrant at Mr. Webb's residence, found the forged permit templates on his laptop, multiple drafts, email communications with the contractor where he explicitly claimed to own the property, financial records showing he's $63,000 in credit card debt, $63,000. He was desperate, I said. Mr. Chen, he was planning to take out a home equity loan against your property. We found applications, forged signatures, the whole thing. My stomach dropped. He was going to take out a loan against a house he doesn't own? Using forged documentation? Yes, that's felony fraud, multiple counts. When will you arrest him? Di's reviewing the case now, probably early next week. Emma called me that night. They searched our house today. Her voice was flat, empty, I know. Found everything on his laptop, the permits, the plans, the loan applications, all for your house. I'm sorry, don't be, you didn't do this, he did. Pause. The detective showed me the credit card statements. $63,000. I had no idea. What are you going to do? I already filed for separation. My lawyer says I need to protect myself and Lily from his debts. That's smart, she laughed bitterly. I married a con artist and didn't notice for 5 years. How is that smart? You're not responsible for his lies. Everyone thinks I knew. Mom, Dad, Uncle David, they all think I was in on it. Then they're idiots. She laughed again, this time genuine. Thanks. Do you need anything? No. I just wanted you to know I'm okay. I'm not going to fall apart. I know you won't. And Alex? Yeah, thank you for protecting me, for telling me first, for not making this worse than it had to be. My throat tightened. Or my sister. The arrest came on Monday morning. Detective Santos called me at 11:22 a.m. Marcus Webb is in custody. Multiple counts of fraud, forgery, attempted grand theft. Da's office is very confident about prosecution. Bail? Set at $75,000. His lawyers arguing for reduction. I thought about the credit card debt, the lies, the desperate scheme. He won't make bail, I said. Probably not. The hearing was 4 weeks later. I sat in the back of the courtroom and watched Marcus shuffle in wearing an orange jumpsuit and handcuffs. He looked smaller. Broken. The DA presented the case methodically. The forged permits, the contractor fraud, the attempted home equity fraud, the financial records showing motive. Marcus's public defender tried to argue financial desperation, family stress, first-time offender. The judge wasn't interested. Mr. Webb, you didn't just commit fraud. You committed elaborate, premeditated fraud involving multiple victims, forged government documents, and attempted grand theft. This demonstrates a pattern of deception and a lack of remorse. Bail is denied. Trial date is set for 90 days from today. I left the courthouse and found Emma waiting by my car. You came, I said. I had to see it. She looked exhausted, thinner than before. How's Lily? I asked. She asks where Daddy is. I told her he made some very bad choices and has to deal with the consequences. That's honest. She's 4. She doesn't really understand. We stood there in the parking lot. 2 people trying to figure out how to move forward. What about the beach house? She asked. What about it? The contractor. Did he get paid? I settled with him. Agreed to pay for the completed work since it actually needed to be done. He's finishing the kitchen and bathrooms at cost. That's generous. He was a victim too, she nodded. Are you going to sell it? No. I'm going to keep renting it. It's good income, and it's Grandpa's legacy. Marcus said you were wasting it, that it was just sitting there. Marcus lied about everything. Yeah, she looked at me. I'm going to tell Dad the truth about how you bought it years ago, about how you've been managing it, about how you handled this whole thing with integrity. You don't have to. Yes, I do, because you're not invisible, Alex, and I'm done letting our family treat you like you are. The trial was quick. Overwhelming evidence. Marcus took a plea deal. 4 years minimum security. Full restitution to Tom Patterson. Permanent restraining order for my property. Forfeiture of any claim to marital assets acquired through fraud. My father called me the night the plea was announced. I owe you an apology. Okay. I believed Marcus because he was confident and loud. I ignored you because you were quiet. That was wrong. Yeah. Your grandfather would have been proud of you for buying the house, for managing it well, for handling the situation with integrity. I didn't know what to say. I'm proud of you too, he continued. I should have said that years ago. My throat tightened. Thanks, Dad. Your mother and I want you to come to dinner, just us, not a big family thing. I'd like that. 6 months after Marcus's sentencing, I drove to the beach house. Tom Patterson had finished the renovations. Beautiful work, new foundation, updated plumbing and electrical, modern kitchen, renovated bathrooms, fresh paint throughout. I stood on the newly rebuilt deck watching the sunset turn the ocean orange and gold. Marcus had seen my silence as weakness. My family had seen my quietness as absence. They'd all been wrong. I bought this house because I understood that real wealth isn't loud. That value doesn't need an announcement. That sometimes the smartest moves are the ones nobody notices. Marcus had tried to steal it because he thought no one would care. He'd been wrong about that too. My phone buzzed. A text from Emma. My Kirched, Lily asked about the beach house today. Can we visit next weekend? I smiled and typed back. Of course, it's your family's house too. I put my phone away and looked out at the water. The house stood solid behind me. Grandpa's house. My house now. Marcus had wanted to flip it for a quick profit. To show everyone how smart he was. Instead, he'd shown everyone exactly what he was, and I'd done it by simply telling the truth. No drama, no spectacle, just documentation and patience and letting his own lies destroy him. The sun dipped below the horizon. The waves crashed rhythmically against the shore. I locked up the house and drove home, knowing that sometimes the quietest victories are the most complete.